So today I'll talk about code versus no code and what is it and why is it even relevant and why are we even talking about it. So first thing first, what is it? So you might have seen, just to give a very simple example, in the past when we started coding, or at least when I started coding, this was back in the days, there was a manual HTML tags that you used to do for website building. And I remember the first time I built out a website, it was a pretty hectic and long exercise, and the outcome of that whole exercise was not even worth sharing with anybody, but it is what it is. But now, as time has passed, we have very well seen WordPress as an example. And in WordPress, if you have used the Elementor feature within that, you can basically just drag and drop paragraphs and text boxes and layout and structures, and you see what you get, so to speak, right? So in that real time, you're able to and publish it immediately. You're able to see the output of your the work that you have done. So yes, you may argue that this is not the absolute perfect thing that you might have built, and you could have optimized that site to that effect. But the whole thing is that it is a quick and dirty way of getting things out of the way. The other example that I want to give you is the whole C++ versus the Visual C journey. In C++, I remember we used to write all code as we were going, and even before that, when we used to have assembly, there was this all cryptic language that you had to write. But with Visual C, with a very less amount of code, you could build out some really nice GUI in your applications with doing much less coding, of course. So this was just a little bit of background to give you an idea of what we mean by code versus no code. The other thing is the advantages and the disadvantages. So in coding, if you were to build out a project, it will take you a lot of time. If you were to code everything from starting from scratch, the time is longer, the duration, well, if the time is going to be longer, there is going to be a whole cost element that is going to be higher. In a no code thing, if you have an idea, you can quick and dirty way, you can present an idea and you can get a quick validation for that. And that is exactly the reason why we want to do a no code. That's a segue into our next conversation, is that with a no code, you can quickly test your ideas, whatever you are thinking. And right now, in this current market, as to how things are evolving, our strong emphasis is on the fact of how quickly you can launch your product and get validation as quickly as possible. So if if you get your validation for your idea as quick as possible, that is exactly what you want to be doing. One example that I can also give you is, like, for example, for Figma. In the past, if you had to build a mobile app, just as an example, because that's what we do, or at least one of the things that we do, is that using Figma, you can build out a layout and visual and design, and then by running the app and by running Figma and an emulator, you can show the steps to the user, how the app is going to navigate from one screen to the other. You can do back and forward and all that good stuff. And once we've got a Figma design, we show it to the client. Once that is done, then we transport it over into Flutter, and that's how we develop our applications. So these are those things which are important. And sometimes a lot of like, you might be thinking now that, okay, what happens if I'm using a certain platform and they go out of business? So like some of the providers of those platforms, they give you the opportunity and they'll say that, okay, fine, if we go out of business and if you're using our platform, we will make this we'll make this code open source for you. So those are the kind of things which you have to account for. Anyway, these are, I just tried to cramp a lot of things into a quick point, so that in a crash course way you could get an idea of what code and no code is. There are a lot of videos on YouTube out there, and they discuss each and every platform, what are the advantages of those platforms or disadvantages. But the crux of the matter is that if you are an entrepreneur and you want to get your idea across pretty quickly into the market, what you want to do is you want to pick up a platform and you want to just have that no code platform, build out that idea, get the validation. And once you have the validation for that, then you can think about, in the future, moving on to a code platform where you have more customizable features, you can control what you're building. But the validation piece has to be there. And I think a lot of us make that mistake, that we try to go toward the whole engineering aspect of it without even confirming that, okay, is this idea even valid, and if the market is even ready for that. So I hope you were able to take away something of what I talked about in code versus no code. If there are more things that you want to ask specifically, or if there are videos that you would like to watch on which gives you a more deeper dive assessment, let me know. I can put that into the description or in the comment section. Thank you so much.